Hello there, 5th grade math students. This is chapter 9.2, multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands. In this chapter, we're going to learn to multiply both tenths and hundredths by 10, 100, and 1,000, and also to multiply tenths and hundredths by multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000. Let's get started. Let's begin by reviewing our place value charts and what happens when we multiply by 10. Let's begin by looking at 12 times 10 in our very first column here, our rows, here. We begin with one dot in the tens place and two dots in the ones place, representing 12. And when we multiply by 10, remember that pushy zero comes in and shoves everything over one place on the place value chart. We talked about this way back at the beginning of the year. So that moves our 1 from the tens column to the hundreds column. Our two ones from the ones column to the tens column gives us a new answer, which is 120. Now if we take 1 times 10, we simply move our one dot from the ones column over to the tens column because that pushy zero comes in and our answer becomes 10. Now what happens if we're multiplying a tenth by 10? We begin with our one spot, our one dot here in the tenths column. That pushy zero is going to come in and it's going to shove it all the way over the line, move it over our decimal point even, and it's going to change to the one spot. So our new number will be 1 or 1.0. Finally, if we take 12 hundredths times 10, we begin with a 1 in our tenths column, 2 hundredths in our hundreds column, and our pushy zero comes in, shoves everything over, puts itself in that column, moving our 2 hundredths to the tenths place and our 1/10 to the ones place, giving us a new answer of 1.20. So the rule we're reminding ourselves of here is that when we multiply a digit by 10, each digit moves one place to the left in the place value chart. Try these 6 practice problems. Remember, when we multiply by 10, each digit moves one place to the left in the place value chart. That pushy zero comes in all the way to the right, shoves everything over one spot. When you finish these, we'll try a new idea. Now let's work on multiplying decimals by multiples of 10. Let's start by reviewing the idea of breaking apart numbers to multiply whole numbers. So what if we wanted to take 3 times 20? We could actually break apart the 2 and the 10 that make up the 20 to rewrite this problem as 3 times 2 times 10. Then we can simply take 3 times 2 to get 6 and easily multiply 6 by 10 to get 60. We can use the same rule when we're multiplying by decimals. What if we were multiplying 3 tenths times 20? Once again, we can break this apart to be 0.3 or 3 tenths times 2 times 10. Now we'll take 3 tenths times 2 to give us 6 tenths times 10. We're going to follow that tens rule, which means that pushy zero is going to come in on the right, shove that 6 over one place value place to the ones column, and now our answer is 6. Now let's multiply with a hundredths and a multiple of 10. Let's multiply 33 hundredths times 20. We'll follow the exact same procedure. We'll take 33 hundredths times 2 times 10. We'll break apart that 20 to make our work a little bit easier. 33 hundredths will become 66 hundredths times 10. We'll follow that 10 rule, and every digit will move one place to the left on the place value chart, and our answer will become 6.6. Now try these 2 practice problems. Yes, I did skip 7 through 10. Don't worry, just go on with number 11. When you finish these 2, we're going to move on to multiplying by 100 and 1,000. Now let's learn to multiply decimals by 100 and 1000. Think about the rules you learned for multiplying whole numbers by 100 and 1000. We can use the exact same rules to help us multiply decimals by 100 and 1000. Let's look at the examples on this place value chart. Let's begin with 3 and 3 times 100. We follow the same basic rule as we follow when multiplying by 10. We count up the number of zeros, and that's the number of places that our number will be pushed to the left. So our 3 moves 2 places to the left on the place value chart as those pushy zeros come in and take their spots, and the 3 becomes 300. If we multiply by 1000, we take 3 zeros and we push our 3 places over to the left on our chart, and it becomes 3000. We follow the same basic rule if we're multiplying with a decimal. If we multiply our decimal 3/1000ths by 100, our 3 is going to move over 1, 2 places to the left on our place value chart as those zeros come in and force our number to the left. And if we multiply by 1000, it will move 1, 2, 3 places over as the 3 zeros from the 1000 push their way in, and it becomes the whole number 3. So the general rule to follow is if you're multiplying by 100, you move 2 places to the left. And if you're multiplying by 1000, you're going to move 3 places to the left. Try these 6 practice problems. Remember our basic rule: when we multiply by 100, every digit moves 2 places to the left. When we multiply by 1000, every digit moves 3 places to the left on the place value chart. There's one last idea in this chapter when you come back, so press pause while you work, and I'll see you in a moment. Let's close out chapter 9.2 by multiplying decimals by factors of 100 or 1000. Let's begin with 8/10 times 200. We're going to use the breaking method that we used before, where we split 200 into its 2 factors, 2 and 100. So we'll begin by taking 0.8 or 8/10 times 2 times 100. 8/10 times 2 gives us 1.6 times 100. Now our 100 is going to push our digits 2 places to the left, and our answer becomes 160. If you prefer, since we're working in multiplication, you could also change the order of the problem if that works better for your brain. You could also do 0.8 times 100 times 2, which would then give you 80 times 2, which is also equal to 160. You'll notice you get the same answer. Since we're multiplying, it's okay to change the order, but be careful if you're using any other operation, okay? Now let's multiply 14 hundredths by 3000. Once again, we'll break this apart. 14 hundredths times 3 times 1000. 14 times 3 is, let's see, it's 3 times 4. If you need to go over to the side and do it this way, you can. I can kind of do it in my head, so if you can do it in your head, go ahead. But if you need to pull it over to the side, that's no problem. 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Drop down our decimal, 0.42. Okay, so now we have 0.42 times 1000. Our 3 zeros are going to come in and push our numbers to the left 3 places, which will give us an answer of 420. Once again, if it works better for your brain, work in this order. So 1000 would push our 14 hundredths 3 places to the left, giving us 140 times 3, which also gives us 420. Basically, it works better for some folks to work with the decimals first and then move over the place value places. But for other people, it works better for their brain to move the place value to the left first and then multiply. It doesn't really matter. Whatever is best for your brain, go ahead and do. And here we are, the last 3 practice problems for 9.2. When I see you tomorrow, we'll do more work together on multiplying decimals by tens, hundreds, and thousands. Have a great night.